Hello. I'm going to be talking about a comment under one of my videos. It was somebody who seemed to me to be in the depths of despair about some madness that I was talking about that she was also well aware of. And the part of the comment that struck me most forcibly was when she said, "I feel so powerless." So I wanted to tell everybody about something that happened to me and years ago, and it taught me two lessons. The first is that no one is powerless. Well, no one in this society anyway, not yet. And that, it also taught me about child rearing. So to give you some background, I was in a launderette and a woman made a comment to me, which had an effect on the rest of my life. I'll start from the beginning. We were in Oxford. The baby was a couple of weeks old by that time, and the washing machine had packed in. So I was forced to use a local launderette while I waited for the washing machine repair to turn up. And I was sitting there with the baby, and there was, he was in this little carrier cot next to me, and the washing machine had finished. So I went over to the washing machine and started unloading the washing machine and loading the stuff into the dryer. At just that moment, the baby started crying. Well, I wanted to get that stuff in the dryer so it would be drying while I was dealing with the baby. And there was nobody else in the launderette apart from the supervisor, and I wasn't going to be disturbing anyone, so I just carried on furiously ramming clothes into the dryer from the washing machine. The supervisor got up from her station at the back of the launderette and sauntered over to me. There was no aggression in it, there was no anger, there was no unpleasantness. She just walked over to me quietly, and then she said, "Your baby's crying." And I said, "Yeah, I know, I just want to get this laundry in the dryer." And she said, "Listen, when I was your age, I was doing laundry as well, and I had two babies, and before I knew it, they'd grown up and they were walking out of the door, and you know what? There was still laundry." And it brought me up very sharply, and it had an effect on the rest of my life. After that, I thought, no, there is nothing in the household cleaning or organizing that's more important than looking after my children, cuddling them, listening to them, doing homework with them, whatever. There is no mess that's more important than that. And it changed. I wasn't a particularly lunatically clean housekeeper, but it did change my attitude quite a bit. And I took two lessons from that. The first is, as I said, that the children come first. Even, by the way, I'm not talking about unconditional love and you're all marvellous and everything. Even punishment or jobs that I insisted they do, that came first as well, whatever it was. But the dirty dishes could stay in the sink. That was the first one. The second was, I realised that just a stray comment like that can change somebody's life. And so I'm bringing this message because you are never powerless. You're only powerless if you stay quiet. If that launderette woman hadn't spoken those words to me, I might have lived a completely different life. So obviously you don't speak out when it's physically dangerous for you to do so, but so many people don't speak out because they don't want to lose friends. They don't want to embarrass somebody. They don't want to get into a confrontation. And, you know, if you don't dare speak out to somebody, then that person is not your friend. I have a friend who's polar opposite politically from me, and very often I tick her off about her, what I consider her lack of human understanding. She tells me off about my attitudes as well. We can do that. We're still good friends because we are friends. I will help her out if she needs help, and she will help me out if I need help. I'm absolutely certain of that. That's friendship. But I've never been afraid to speak out with her. On the other hand, I've had acquaintances I have been afraid to speak out against. The friendships didn't last. So when you don't speak out, that friendship is doomed anyway, so don't worry about it. And speaking out becomes easier the more you do it. Everybody has that hot feeling, that embarrassed feeling, that shaky feeling when you're saying something that you know somebody else won't like. But I mean, you don't have to be aggressive and rude, by the way. I'm not talking about being nasty to people. I'm just talking about saying what you see as the truth. And you are only powerless if you succumb to the feeling that you mustn't make waves. So there have been a couple of occasions throughout my life when I haven't spoken up, and I have regretted it. And yeah, that's the message I got from those few words. Now, as a matter of fact, I never saw that woman again, because a couple of days after that particular visit to the laundrette, the washing machine was repaired and I was back home loading stuff into my domestic machine. But that woman, who probably wouldn't have remembered me a week later and possibly didn't even remember what she'd said to me, had an absolute effect on everything I've done afterwards. Her words ring down the corridors of my life constantly. So, yeah, I want to tell you, you are never powerless. Unless by your own behaviour. Well, not in this society. I mean, there are places where you are powerless. I wouldn't advise anyone living under the Taliban to start speaking out against them. You would get very short shrift. But here in this society, people can be nasty to you, but mostly speaking out is what you should do. And you can do. And we should thank God, or whatever deity or philosophy we follow, we should thank for where we live. We are among the fortunate of this planet. Okay, well, yeah, that's it. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. All the links are in the description. Also links to Twitter and Gab at Granniopteryx. Now, I let you know when I've uploaded a new video on one of those. It might be worth your while to subscribe. Also, yeah, there are links in the description to donation sites. I do appreciate donations, but really the best thing you can do to help is click that like button. Very useful. And, yep. Now, let's see. I don't want to knock the new mic. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granniopteryx design or Granbo, with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.